Now let's look at creating the drawing for this project. And I've started with an English C-size sheet. And so let's bring in our base view. Ooh, I'll have to look it up here. So 2:1 scale. We'll go with a right side view and a bottom view. Yeah, that's what we need. Okay, and now let's kind of move them into place here. That looks good that way. Pull this over a little bit. Okay, and we're going to pull this one up kind of about there with the C, just a little higher than that C index mark there. I think that will work for us because we're going to be putting our cutting plane lines in here, and we'll pull our sections down here, and then we may have to move these things a little bit. And so let's do those cutting plane lines, and we'll put them in first, and then resize them, and kind of move things around a bit. So okay, so let's go with a section. And I kind of want this one to be the midpoint there, so I'm going to select this view. There's my midpoint. And we'll pull it over here. But then we're going to come back in and edit that view so that it's not aligned to the base. And then we can grab it and pull it down here out of the way. Okay, now we'll repeat that for B and C. And I'm going to speed through this. Okay, so I got my three views created. So now, in order to get these lined up with each other, the easiest way to do that is we'll just draw us a sketch with a couple of lines. And I'm just, since the line command is active, I'm just going to draw three of them there. And now let's dimension that line. We'll make it 0.25 off of the object. And we'll do the same down here. And then also, let's we may have to move these around once we dimension things. So I'm going to wait about aligning these down below. So we'll finish the sketch, and now pull these down to those lines. Okay. All right, so we've got those lined up nice and neatly now. And when you apply your dimensions, going to kind of pull them out. I don't see a reason for me to do all of the dimensions for you here, but we'll do a couple of them just to show you. And so we'll take this one, and instead of that, first couple of snaps, let's pull it outside. I think we need to move that view down. But since we're still in our dimension command, we'll go ahead and do that. I think that'll look, even though it's not on a snap, I think that'll look pretty good there. Okay, so I think that's got us good that way. Now down here, with this one, we can put all our dimensions across the bottom, and we'll have 2 rows. So I'll put a couple in. Okay, so that's got our spacing for those rows. And in these, we can see they need to be up above the title block there. So in this one, probably center, kind of make it center with the end. Okay. And then we'll kind of space these kind of evenly across here. And we can go alignment horizontal with that one. And then do the same thing with this one here. Alignment horizontal. So that's got them all 3 aligned across there, and just kind of work on your spacing to kind of get them even between there. All right, now there's a couple of issues with dimensioning and center marks. And I'll show you on a couple of these, because we want to dimension this the same way it's dimensioned in the textbook, but using the section views to do that with, instead of dimensioning to hidden lines. But the features that are dimensioned in the textbook, that's what we want to dimension. So this one's not a problem over here. Here we want to dimension from the bottom of the cylinder here to the point of the V. And if we just try to dimension that now, dimension command, you see it keeps wanting to snap to that center mark. So while you're trying to work on these things that are going to the bottom of the cylinder, take that center mark out. Okay, and so now we can dimension from that point, and then we're looking for the snap that will get us tangent to the edge of the cylinder there. Okay. And then let's go ahead and apply the dimension here to the top edge. This one is to the center of the circle, so we can still go ahead and dimension it. We'll go to that point, and then we just pick the circle, and it will go to the center mark of it there. Okay, so same kind of situation over here with this line to the bottom of the circle. And then you can come in and apply all your, all of your center lines. Okay. And you can do all your center lines. So this is all your center lines and do the rest of the dimensions. And then once you're all done and everything's looking good, we want to delete that sketch right there that we used to line up the cutting plane lines. Okay, and so that will now keep in mind this is not completed, but it gets you through some of the sticky points that were a lot more difficult to dimension and stuff on this drawing.